Hey everybody, it's Moose here, and today I have another interview for you guys. I'm here with Luminous Tri. He is a audio book creator. He does a lot of like audio stories. He recently been doing a Spider-Man, Wrath of Kane, and it's great. I highly recommend you guys check it out. And he's recently just came out today, as time of recording, with a new Minecraft. Minecraft teaser at least. So, yeah, I'm excited to have you on. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so I guess for my first question is exactly what got you into wanting to do audio stories?
Well, I guess I would say there's a lack of audio stories on YouTube that aren't like related to like popular culture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I just feel like I want to do something different. Everyone's doing the animation thing, stop motion, all this other thing. So I kind of want to stand out a little bit. So I was like, why not do an audio novel? And I've had experience doing stuff like that before. So I was like, taking my expertise and then turning it into something I love.
Yeah, and I can tell you put a lot of hard work. What I really like about your series is you put so much effort into just some do an audio story, like with the visuals and with the voice work. And speaking of voice work, you are the voice currently for Miles and also for Kane, and Kane is one of your original characters.
And Venom.
And
also Prowler.
And Prowler. All right, so you got a lot of voices under your belt. So when it comes to voice acting, what kind of stuff do you like to do in order for yourself to get into that character? You know, like for Miles, Kane, Venom, etc., or Prowler. You know, like because there's all these characters have different mannerisms, different ways of speaking. So, what kind of stuff do you do for voice acting to get into that mode?
Okay, so as far as Miles is just me,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a like young, naive, energetic kid, still learning from mistakes. So it's kind of easy to get into that character because it just reminds me of a younger version of myself. And as far as like Kane and like Venom and stuff, it's just my anger put into a character.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I become the character, I actually become the character. Like I put all my anger into like Kane's voice, so I can go like this and get angry now,
Mm-hmm.
just push all my anger out of my body,
Mm-hmm.
doing the voices for that. And Venom is also like my hatred and my anger just coming out too. That's how I was able to get like the hatred for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So I act like a anti-fan of Spider-Man, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know? Like act like I hate Spider-Man when I'm Venom, because he does have a strong hatred for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So me being Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes actually. So it's kind of hard to hate him, but like I turn myself into Eddie Brock and slash Venom, and just I get that hatred. I just start thinking about things I don't like, and I just put those traits over Spider-Man, and
Right.
it makes me hate Spider-Man. So it's easier to get into the character.
Right. And
And for Prowler, it's easier too.
right. And I was gonna say that I can tell you put
Mhm.
like a lot of like passion and stuff into the when it comes to the voice stuff. When it comes to voice acting for these characters, you really make them come to life. And I can really appreciate that. And that's something I try to do when it comes to voice acting too. I try to emulate that character, for World 214 when I voice Captain America. I really try to think about like Chris Evans' take, and also trying to do my take on Captain America the character, and try to bring out his sense of righteousness and selflessness, and I try to emulate that. So I also
Exactly.
yeah, and so when it comes to one of your characters that you voice came, I wanted to ask more about him. So I wanted to ask more like, is there so eventually from like when he first appeared to where he is now, what essentially wanted you to create the character, because he's one of your original characters, and a lot of people seem to get him confused with Spider King, because you mentioned before they're two separate characters. So what essentially inspired you to create this character for the Spider-Man mythos?
I don't know. He just kind of came to me in a dream. You know, I had a dream that I was Spider-Man, and just like there's this villain named Kane, and like I instantly thought it was Spider Kane, but it wasn't. He kind of looks like Noel, I think his name is, one of Thanos' henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks like him, but like Thanos purple skin, and it's just like he's all slouched over, and he wears like a cloak over him. He has like little strands of hair hanging from his head, like he's been mutated somehow. Well, like he looks like a mutant, and he's like 6'7". He's a big dude, but he's very sickly looking, and just like all that just came to me in the dream. It was so vivid, and just like the series just came to me like that. Just like, that was a cool dream. I want to kind of go off of that. Right. So like I started writing it down, started planning stuff out, and it just turned into the series.
Right.
It all started with a dream.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the character, and I really like what you're doing with him, especially with his a lot of it. Like what I also like about the character is like you mentioned to me, even like before the interview, you mentioned to me like what he looks like, but you haven't really given off any sort of like, you've given off some little visual cues and stuff like that, and like of what he might look like, but you really do leave it up to the audience. And but even though you do have, this is what he definitely looks like, but you're just like, nah, I'm gonna let the audience let them visualize it for themselves. And that's what I kind of like about the series itself, is that you initially somebody else can visualize it differently, even though they're listening to the same thing. So
exactly.
So I also have a question, is essentially asking, what other characters like can you tell us that would you like to add, or like, because there's other characters, like other villains like the Lizard, there's Chameleon, Mysterio, other, and there's also Aunt May, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, so is there any other characters you would like to add, or any characters that you can tell us that?
I can tell you a few. Anya Corazon, Spider Girl. Spider Gwen, of course. May Parker, Spider Woman. A few villains like Lizard, Mysterio, like you mentioned, and Kingpin. Actually, one that I've been really wanting to cast for. I can't find anyone to get the voice I'm really looking for, but I'm kind of going for Craven.
Okay.
I really want someone to play Craven. He's gonna have an important role, and the rest are gonna be some more original characters I want to come up with. I want King to have some like, unique friends from his world.
No, is there gonna be? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just saying, like, yeah. So that's just like the gist of it, of what I want to do for the future. Yeah.
All right. Is there going to be any other original characters you might add to the show, like to the series?
Yes. That's what I was saying. Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of new original characters coming.
Okay, so like heroes and villains alike, I assume.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Including a brand new Spider-Man.
What was that?
Including a brand new Spider-Man.
Oh, actually. A brand new Spider-Man. Okay, that's dope. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
This is a Spider-Man that I came up with.
That's really cool. I'm excited to see, especially like with the whole thing with adding a new Spider-Man is coming up with their origin. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what you do with that and what other characters you add. And speaking, because like I mentioned, you put out a little teaser for a Minecraft audio story recently. At the time of this recording. So I wanted to ask you more about that. So is this gonna be something like its own story with a new character, or you're gonna focus it like on Steve or something like that? I don't know too much about the Minecraft mythos, so
all new characters. There is Isaac, Carol, and Danny, actually. Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell us about
Carol, and Danny?
Okay. Is there anything you can tell us about it story wise? What was that?
So what now?
Oh, you go first.
Oh, okay. So I was saying, this actually takes place in the normal Minecraft universe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a legend of a woman named Yelena. She's basically one of the goddesses of Minecraft. Um, this isn't like true to the lore or nothing, but it's just something that I came up with. It was inspired by a new game called Hytale that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, what if Minecraft had like some type of system like that? So she's one of many goddesses and gods in the universe, and she is the goddess of hatred and jealousy. And so these three friends are out on excuse me, out on their adventure, trying to uncover the truth about this goddess, and then it just. I'm trying to tell the story without spoiling it too much, because I'm really bad at that. I don't want to pull Tom Holland, so. Yeah, the thing is, no.
Yeah. I also wanted to. So like, I don't know that much about Minecraft or about like its lore or anything. So I think this would be kind of like an interesting start for me because I'm definitely gonna be listening to it, and so I think it would be really interesting. So I'm intrigued about what you have, and especially your own take of its world, especially since it's been around for so long. I also wanted to ask you, since you released this new thing, is there any other characters or like other properties that you would like to tackle in the future, like DC, Dark Horse, Star Wars, anything like that?
I plan on doing a lot of just like what if stories, basically, over like my take of popular culture. You know, like you said, Star Wars, DC, and stuff like that. I kind of do what like Telltale does. You know, well, rest in peace, Telltale. But yes, kind of do what Telltale does, like create their own version of popular stories and characters and stuff like that. Okay. So I'm gonna do all my favorite genres of like anime, TV shows, and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the audio series is that with you can, and also I think with it might be easier to do, considering you don't have to do with a lot of visual storytelling. It's more of like it's something that's more of like the audience has to visually tell it. And I've said that already, but I think with with you, and what I like about you is that from talking with you is that you really have a lot of stories to tell, and you put brand new perspectives on these characters. So
yes.
Yeah, like with your version of Miles is different from Spider-Verse or PS4 version or even the comic books. So which can be difficult to do considering that there's so many ways of telling that story, and so like you try, but you also stay true to its roots at the same time. So I think that's what, like, when it comes to characterization and personality, that's what I think you get right for sure. So I also had another series about another question about the Spider-Man series. So initially you added like other characters like Spider-Man 2099, Penny Parker, so like a lot of people seem that you got a lot of influence a bit from Spider-Verse. So is there any other stories that you may have been inspired by, or that you think we're going to take any influence from, as far as where this story is going to go?
I think we're having some technical issues. This signal keeps dropping.
Oh, okay. Basically, I was asking, like there's with the additions of Penny Parker, in Spider-Man 2099 and many other characters. Some people think, some people, like I've seen comments and stuff, see the story as an inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse. So, so like, is that true? And also, is if not, then is there any other stories that you get inspiration from the Spider-Man mythos or anything like that?
It's actually a combination of Into the Spider Verse and the MCU Spider Man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like continue where Homecoming left off and like where Far From Home left off, but with a mixture of Spider Verse. So yes, it's going to be the Spider Verse of characters, not like the movie Spider Verse, but like the actual like comic Spider Verse, where all the different Spider Man, start coming. So I wanted to kind of combine my two favorite things.
Yeah. Is
the
there
MCU and the comics and the Spider Verse movie.
right? Is there any other stories that you want to take any liberty from when it comes to your Wrath of Cain story?
I don't really think so. I think those like really my main core inspirations, really.
Mm-hmm. I think
things came to me in a dream. So
right. And I think what you what you have is great. I think especially for those two properties, I like the MCU Spider-Man, and I love Spider-Verse. So I think those are two good things to base your story off of and base your these versions of these characters off of. So I also just wanted to ask essentially is hold on, let me read it. Okay, so I had a brain fart for a second. So I essentially just wanted to know more about Wrath of Cain. Is there anything you can tell us about the next installment without any spoilers, or is that something you're going to keep hush hush for a while till the next one comes out?
In the Wrath of Cain story?
Yes.
Oh, for episode like 5 and on?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you listened to episode 4 at the end. There was a teaser for a character coming to the episode 5.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because if you listen to what Peter said to Cain as his last little joke before he passed out, you hear something crash down, and then you hear a loud roar. So Peter's last lines were, "I hope you're not allergic to greens," as like a joke.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then next you know you hear a gigantic crash behind Cain, then you hear a roar. So I was kind of hoping everyone would put 2 and 2 together.
Right. So yeah, okay. So that's basically that was teasing another. Okay, I figured it was, but I just wanted to just essentially ask what that possibly could mean, and so yeah. So I guess without spoilers, I guess that does mean another character is coming. Yeah. So I also just wanted to essentially ask was there any inspirations for your channel? Like in terms of, was there anybody that on YouTube or just in general that made you like, man, I really want to start this YouTube channel up and do audio stories?
All of you guys that I've met in the stop motion community like inspired me to do this. Like shout out to MM Animations, Miniflix Studios, Thundercat Studios, Star Blast Studios. Who am I missing? Dr. Stop Motion. And of course, you guys all inspired me to create this story because you guys create such good stories and content that it inspired me to do so.
Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot. I think you mentioned it to me before, and and if anybody doesn't know, I help voice in the series as well, and I like with what I've seen from the script from Luminous scripts, it's great, and I'm not just saying that because I'm brown nosing. I genuinely believe that you're doing something really good here, and yeah. So, what do you see in yourself for the future for the channel? Like, do you see yourself just doing branching off into other topics and branching out to other genres of stuff like this, or – do you feel yourself that you're going to stick to audio stories?
Well, actually, I do plan on doing some visual novels in the
Mm-hmm.
future. I'm gonna say up white yet, because I want to get permission to use those things.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I plan on doing visual novels in the future because that's another one of my like favorite things to do. I'm not really like a big fan of animation like I used to be. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I like simple stuff like that. Like visual novels like Danganronpa. You ever heard of that?
No, I've not.
It's like I like visual novel game styles. I've always enjoyed those more than I actually do animation, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I plan on doing a lot of those
Do
and
you,
more audiobooks and
right,
stuff like
right.
that.
And do you have any when it comes to storytelling and writing? Do you have any inspirations for anybody that that you're like, man, I really want to tell a story in the style of this person, or like when it comes to me, I like to tell stories in a way like like Scott Snyder or like oh, man, I can't think of his name, Brian Azzarello. So I really like how they tell stories. So is there anybody that you get inspiration from when it comes to writing? When it comes to writing?
Um, Not really anybody comes to mind, but I just kind of do what comes to me.
Mm-hmm. And how would you say when it comes to writing, when writing these characters and writing this story, writing the stories, um, do you really plan it all out, or does it just flow?
It just flows, man. It just like I said, it just comes to me like either in a dream or or it's just something that I see that inspires me to like movies or anything. Just I like the way they did that. I want to kind of do my own take of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess going on to actually my last question is essentially, what would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
I want to thank you guys for just like giving me the motivation to keep going. I've been through a lot, trying to find myself and trying to find what I'm good at in life, and you guys have helped me like discover who I am and what I want to do, and I want to thank all of you for that.
All right, well, thank you again, Lunas, for joining me and answering questions. I hope you had a great time. And yeah, so anybody, thank you for watching. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and listening. And if you want to check out Luminous, please check him out. YouTube, Instagram, all his social media stuff will be in the description. He definitely needs a lot more people to check him out. So, yeah, and watch out for his. Keep a lookout for his next couple episodes and his new series coming out. So, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.